Hey guys! So I'm here to do my weekly update, as always. I hope it finds you well. I know it finds me pretty well. And so here we are. The sun is out, it's a nice day, and I think we're finally getting into the real spring as well as summertime. So, perfect, right? So anyway, as we always do, let's start with updates. As of this morning, I am at 305. So those 200s are within striking distance, and I think my goal of being under 300 pounds by July 4th is more than doable. I'm pretty sure that's going to happen probably within the next week. And basically what that means is I'm effectively guaranteeing that I will be able to ride any ride I want to when we are at the amusement park on the 4th of July. So I'm very excited about that. I think last week I talked about the fact that I was changing up my diet again. I did receive official notice letter in the mail from my surgeon team that I am iron anemic. So, and I know it's not completely abnormal for someone out of surgery, but you know, it's interesting because not only did they say that I had substantially low iron levels and therefore had to take extra iron supplements plus a vitamin C, which I guess I'll show you what I chose to use maybe in a second. But they also put on my list of things to be concerned about that I am not getting enough protein, which I found interesting because, as you may remember, several videos ago, I talked about the fact that I was increasing my protein intake because I thought what they were recommending was too low. Their recommendations in this letter are the same as what they were when I came home. And, you know, unless I'm completely skewed in my my tracking, or, you know, it's just a matter of, you know, maybe my body is not digesting things properly. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't seem to be dumping undigested foods, and I don't seem to be not finishing what I do plan for. I eat several eggs. I eat, you know, I use protein shakes. I do all this stuff, and I know that on a more than consistent basis, I hit 60 grams a day, which is what they're still recommending. But according to my blood work, my indicators of my protein intake actually demonstrate that my protein intake is low. So they're like, well, if you're having trouble hitting 60 grams a day, please talk to our dietitian. And I'm like, I'm actually shooting for around 100 grams a day. And so if my body is telling you through my blood work that my protein intake is low, then that means the goal that you've given me is too low. Which I've been saying for a while. I've been reporting fatigue, and I've been reporting that I think my protein intake is too low. They've been telling me that they would prefer me not to use protein shakes, but I just don't get hungry, and the capacity of my stomach is not allowing me to eat, you know, 4 or 5 ounces of meat at a sitting. It's one of those things where it's like I can plan 60 grams of protein, but that is still making my protein indicators low. The way that I'm meeting higher protein is I'm adding between meals, but they're also saying don't do that. So like I'm supposed to have higher protein meals. There's supposed to be around 4 ounces of food at those meals. I'm doing that within those 3 meals. If I just do the 3 meals a day, I hit about 60 grams of protein a day, if not more. and I'm still not hitting the right numbers. So I'm kind of like, I guess I have to change things. So I have been consistently using this product Soylent. I'm trying different ways of flavoring it, including adding whey protein shake powder. No thing that I've added to it for flavor wise or drinking it by itself has made it so I couldn't drink it. So I am probably going to stick to that. So, yeah, I mean, especially because it's been making me feel better. But I found their letter very interesting because for a while they were telling me that I was eating too much and that's why my weight loss was slow. That like they were not going to do blood work yet, but that my reporting fatigue and slowness was not normal for the stage I was in surgery. And now we see, well, I'm like, we're talking like my iron saturation rating was 9. The low normal is 15. So I am confirmed as anemic. Like I am confirmed that I don't have enough iron in my blood, even though my hemoglobin is in normal ranges, and red blood cell count is within normal ranges. Those things that are more associated with traditional anemia. Uh, it's kind of like, well, maybe we should have checked this sooner. Because low iron levels contribute to fatigue that's not otherwise explained with a lot of people. And having low iron levels after weight loss surgery is pretty common. So I wanted to show what I chose to go ahead and use because they just recommended to add supplementation of elemental iron and vitamin C to go with the elemental iron because vitamin C will help the absorption of the iron. So I was shopping for vitamin C because, it, like, when you want to get chewable vitamin C, it's like, okay, so you either get like a cold remedy, which has a ton of vitamin C in it, or you end up with gummies or something. And I still don't use gummies. But what I did find was this. So the reason why I decided to go with this is because it is a melt-away vitamin, which I like. I mean, that's what I use for my melatonin. Like, they're just super, super easy to use. But this particular Vitamelt is, per serving, 100% of your vitamin C, but it also has 833% of the recommended dosage of biotin. Now, as you also may remember, I was losing my hair. So, like a lot of people recommend increasing your biotin, to quite a bit. I've seen people recommend up to 4 times the dose of biotin that's in this particular supplement. But I know for a fact that that's not going to keep your hair from falling out. It's just going to potentially make it grow back healthier looking. But I figured it wasn't going to hurt for me to add biotin to my regimen, especially when it came with vitamin C. Because not only is this option much cheaper than doing like a cold remedy or even just vitamin C by itself, it kind of kills 2 birds with 1 stone. But this is one of the only quick dissolve options that you can find that was not like an effervescent option. So I highly recommend it. It does not taste like crap. So, the flavor is strawberry lemonade. And it basically tastes like that. So that's good. And then the other thing that I added was a slow release iron. Now this is just the Kroger brand, but you know, I'm sure you could use anything. But um, using the Kroger brand made it so that you know, they usually have pretty good sales, and this was half price. Now they recommended that I take 65 uh, milligrams of iron a day, and this is only 45. And since my iron was pretty low, I kind of decided, and you know, and because I have a tendency of forgetting sometimes, I decided I was going to add 2 of these a day, and I was going to take a vitamin C dissolvable with it every day, because I figured that way, if I skip a dose of iron, you know, I'm still over, and you know, it's probably not going to have a negative effect on me, but I will have some extra available. It's interesting, though, because they gave me notification that it could, you know, constipate me, and it kind of had the opposite effect. It makes me feel sick, and, well, not sick so much as, you know, my body's like, oh my gosh, and I was kind of not prepared for how aggressive that would be. But I guess it's not abnormal, and according to what I've read, um, it's actually a sign that the iron is working as it's supposed to. So, whatever. But I can say that fatigue is better. You know, I mean, I've been doing it for a few days now. Fatigue is definitely better. So I think that the fatigue that I was experiencing had at least something to do with the iron deficiency. I also, like, one of the big things that's happened recently is we went shopping this weekend, because next weekend I will be out of town, so I might actually not do a video, maybe right before I leave, but I might do, like, we'll just see how it happens. But I'm actually going on a trip to my friend's wedding, and I haven't seen her in several years, and most of the people at this wedding have not seen me since college. And I'm currently, you know, at a place in my development after surgery where I look like well, you know, for physically or whatever, I am in high school range. Most of these people did not know me in high school. So I have a feeling that even though I see a very gradual change, it might be very stark for them to see what it actually is like. I've shared a couple of full body pictures, but I think that it's hard to gauge that if you don't have a direct comparison from what you remember to the person right in front of you. Because I can stand by, you know, a door or whatever, but it's just not relative. Like, if your body doesn't look significantly different, like mine still has the same general body shape, it's hard to tell that there's a lot of difference until, like, you literally see, like, how much smaller that shape is. But because that wedding is coming up, I had to go shopping for clothes, because I did not have any outfits that would be appropriate for a wedding. And that's where, like, the biggest thing that was awesome that happened this past week happened. Because we made the plan, we had a shopping day yesterday, and, you know, prior to my leaving, I had a conception of what my size currently is and what we should be shopping for. And so we went to a few different stores. I found a dress. It's very pretty. It's very flattering to me. You know, if I can work it out and I can figure out how to do it in the video, I will definitely show you guys that dress. But I'm not making any promises because I'm not well versed in that. But when we were shopping, you know, I told my brother, I said, my size is probably a 22, 24. That's what we should be pulling. So that's what we were pulling. And we went to one store to shop. And we had gone to this store specifically because they could potentially have had bras. Now, I haven't shopped in a store for bra probably since I was in high school, just because I have been amply chested most of my life. And the like I told the woman that, and she said that she'd be able to do a bra fitting for me. And I decided to go and do that because I've never had a professional bra fitting before. I've never had anybody make a point to measure me. I had no idea how that worked. I did not know what to expect. So she did the measurements, and the first thing we learned was that the bras I've been wearing were about 6 inches too loose around, which was way surprising to me. And you know, she, like, according to my new band size, like let's just be real. I was buying a 48, and she measured me at a 42, and I was starting to buy G cups at the 48, and she measured me at a 42H. Which, you know, I've only recently been educating myself enough to understand that, you know, your band size, when it's smaller, your cup size could be bigger than when your band size was bigger. So, so I'm okay having, you know, an H cup or whatever. But then she told me something I haven't heard in years, which was, we have that size here in the store. So for the first time in probably 15 years or more, I was able to try on the bra before I bought it. And the difference was remarkable. Completely changed the way that my body shape came across. It changed the pain that I was experiencing in my back, like almost immediately. It changed the way the dress looked on me. It went from looking good to looking great. Like, every person that I've shown this dress to has said that it looks amazing on me. And I'm not a dress person. I don't know what's going on, but I'm just going girly for it, I guess, because I not only bought a dress for the wedding, but I bought a dress for work. Like, I bought another dress for work. And I've bought leggings, I bought new shoes, I bought accessories. It's just like I'm going all out. The second thing about this was, we're pulling 22 24s because I thought I couldn't fit a size 20 pant. I tried before we left. I have some here in the house and they didn't work, so I thought, okay, well, I'm a size 22, that's fine. The sales associate that helped me with the bras told me, she said, I'm sorry to tell you this, but I think that you need a size 18, maybe 18, 20, but I really think that you're shopping too big for yourself. I thought that she was crazy. I said, fine, you can give me one, but if it doesn't fit, it doesn't fit. She said, I agree with you. If I give it to you and it doesn't fit you, I will apologize. Well, I ended up buying a size 18. I am one size away from what my goal size was. Like, this is insane to me. I did not think that I was going to get below a size 16 in this process, but it seems like this is a very real possibility at this point. I don't know what to think about that. We drove away and I kept asking my brother, are you sure it actually fit me? I've put these pieces of clothing on a couple of times since buying them, and I'm still sitting here thinking, is this real? Is this for sure? Like, does this actually fit me? Are people just being nice? Like, I knew that this was going to change my life, and I knew it was going to change my body. I knew that it was going to happen fairly quickly. I just had modest goals for what the end result was going to be. I didn't want to become like some super skinny rendition of myself. I just wanted to change the trajectory. And now it's becoming more and more and more obvious that my conception of what I look like, how far I've come, how much has changed, is completely off from the reality. So even though this video is long, I really wanted to put that out there because I think that it's incredibly important to talk about as a weight loss surgery patient, that sometimes you have to put your trust in other people to tell you what you need to hear. Like the sales associate at this store was exactly who I needed to have with me, helping me. Because she just looked me straight in the face and she says, you are absolutely, I know exactly what's happening right now. You are too used to dressing yourself to hide. You don't need to hide. And you're so used to buying bigger clothes that the idea that you don't need those bigger clothes, that you need smaller clothes. Like, I can't tell you the last time I went to a store and I could pick out virtually anything on any rack and say, do you have my size? They could say yes. And, or to like take something into the dressing room and say, I need a smaller size. It's almost always, for as far back as I can remember, where I was buying my own clothes, been I'm trying on this size that I thought was the right size, but I need them to get me it bigger. My life is really changing. My possibilities are growing exponentially, not just with clothes or, you know, different things like that, but we're talking about just like I can fit I can fit in theater chairs now without spilling over. I can share the armrest with a stranger instead of saying, sorry, my fat spills over the armrest. I can fit in the chairs in the conference room at my work without complaining about it hurting or having to shift constantly. I can cross my legs like a lady. I can, you know, sit comfortably. I can sit with my legs tucked inside a sweatshirt while I'm, you know, like I can put my entire body in one shirt. I have to retire some of my clothes because they're revealing, not because they're cut to be revealing, but because they are so big on me now that they slide too far away from where they're supposed to be. Like, my self-conception has to catch up with myself. And so I am trying really hard right now to make a dedicated promise to myself that I will start really focusing on this idea that it is okay, it is right, it is acceptable, and it is a wonderful thing for me to take the time to invest money in dressing myself appropriately for the size I actually am, instead of making do with what I have. Because I'm too used to being fat. I am too used to saying I don't want to buy new clothes because I know I have to go up a size. I'm going to stretch out what I have. I'm going to make do with what I have because it's too expensive and I don't want to be that fat. And, you know, being in this kind of denial stage. And, you know, in the process of that, I've actually, you know, in passing conversation, publicized quite a bit the experience of having weight loss surgery, or the fact that I've lost 219 pounds, or, you know, whatever details I do need to share with people who are helping me, to help them understand, like, why I may not quite understand what I currently look like, or what my life is currently like. So anyway, I'm going to go for now, because this is a super long video. But I guess the moral of this story is, I'm sure those of you who are watching this, whether you're watching this as you know, trying to understand what it's like to go through this experience, whether that's, you know, because you want to learn about other people's experience, or you want to learn about what might happen to you when you're going through your surgery, or you're trying to figure out, are the feelings that I'm experiencing right now normal, that experiencing a disconnect between what your body looks like and what you think you are versus what you actually are when it comes to size, weight, you know, whatever. That happens. That's reality. That's okay. And it's kind of a fabulous experience to find out that, you know, where you thought you were isn't where you were at all. You're actually farther along than you are. Like, you're farther along in life and in your progress than you thought you were. I don't know. It's just been a really affirming situation. It's been really fun. It's been nice. Because when you think, like, all this time, you know, getting messages like things are going slowly, or whatever it is, you know, it's really nice to think, like, oh my gosh, like, I started this process, you know, avoiding buying size 36 pants. And I'm like half that now. That's insane. Anyway, I'll see when I get my next video up. Maybe before I go to Colorado. Maybe it'll be after. Maybe I'll skip and do another extra long video the next week to make up for it. Either way, take care of yourselves. Remind yourselves every day that one day of good progress, whatever that progress is better than giving up. And I will talk to you later. Take care of yourselves. Bye.